Greetings. Thank you for joining tonight's broadcast brought to you by Fifth Dimension. Okay, let's see. Dorian, a hurricane, has decimated Bahamas. Weather manipulation at its finest. Is this going to wake people up? Might wake up a couple people. Of course, they'll get paranoid and get all Alex Jones-like and just go nowhere. There's different ways of looking at this. Obviously, that was a target of some kind. Now, I'm not 100% sure what, I'll put this out there, though. I think I've said this before, but like a situation like that, you'd be surprised how it could be just like one person or an organization that's there that's a target. Like a real estate, somebody that runs a real estate there, whoever it might be. Put them out of business, I would definitely do it. If they have a vendetta against them, whatever it is, there's a possibility of that. It's hard to say, though. Obviously they're kind of easy to tap into that, but it is very bizarre. It was running fine, doing its terror. One of the Bahamas just sat there, and then it just moved on. Come on, it's like so. In the sleepy world, the sleepy reality we live in, they're connected to the conspiracies, which is good, but then they connected to energies that get you nowhere, just get you more paranoid, more angry at the shadow government, whatever it might be. But I believe this is also part of the awakening to a certain degree. I don't know how much people are. It might wake up one person, maybe. At least in the higher scheme of things. But it was definitely a major manipulation going on there. It also seems like they're there to get rid of some kind of information. I don't know what. I think it's gone now. Maybe it was pictures or something. I don't know. Some kind of data that they wanted to destroy. That's one way of doing it. We're never going to really know what the hell it is. I don't know how to speculate. Well, I'm gathering it is some kind of information that needed to be destroyed. I don't know what it is, but something needed to go. And now it's gone. So, yeah, a lot of that water went to, like, the foot of their, where they lived, the first floor. There's no land there. It's just nothing, so it makes sense. Yeah, it sucks. So, if you're inland, like where we are, it barely hit Florida. So it did cause a lot of difficulties there. Right now, it feels like it did its job, and now it's wandering off. It might cause some difficulties up in other states, probably, but nothing like what it did there. So it's mission accomplished what I get from it. So if you say it's not weaponized, you might want to look at the Bahamas and think again. So yeah, it's not going to be very clear of how exactly it did it. Definitely, it had an agenda for sure. And agenda mission accomplished. That's all I get from. There's another system out there in the Atlantic, but it's not going to go anywhere. It's going somewhere, but it's not going to come here. Luckily. Yeah, it's Let's see here. Message from humanity. It's like I said. This stuff's going to continue on until humanity figures itself out, pulls itself out of the old way of thinking. I would say this is one way to break out of the coma called reality, but unlikely for most. Most are not ready, but it is a sign of things to come, of weather insanity that we've already seen in California with the fires. But it is showing the purging of old energies, not just a destruction of old, like Bahamas, old vibrations. New energies are coming in. And Bahamas does play a big role. It is British controlled, I believe. It's part of the UK, I believe. I think so. Or maybe it's independent. I think it's part of the UK, though. I could be wrong, but I think it's part of the UK. Something like that. It doesn't matter. It's not part of the US, though. We don't have any money anyway. We're going to buy Greenland. There's no hurricanes in Greenland. Right now, moving to Greenland sounds pretty good, actually. And watch a hurricane start showing up over there. But anyway. So, human consciousness for the most part, is not really ready to fully see itself, where aliens can start appearing here. I mean, in the physical, where people aren't freaking out. We are on our way of disconnecting from the old ways of thinking. Of yeah, you're going to be seen as a crazy person. People aren't. It's not time yet. I mean, obviously, everyone on individual basis. This is another message that's kind of interesting. Of when the time is right, you will feel. When the time is right, I don't think now is the time, but when you can speak about aliens and all that freely, we're not at that time yet. We're getting there. Not that you're trying to run all this stuff out of someone's throat, but you can talk about it freely and not get attacked, not get somebody throw a toaster at you. So, yeah, it's the early stages of it, like any other movement, you can say, like with Martin Luther King and others. When you can talk about this alien agendas freely, spiritual, spirit guides, Agartha, that's when the alien energies are really obvious. I'm probably telling it, this probably already knows, but this is when the alien energies really start to trigger in. When it starts to move in, when we start to see them in our third eye more clearly, and they start to manifest when they need to be seen. It's just that right now there's many blockages across the planet of third-dimensional realities that are being echoed from lower dimensions that have been, programmed for some time, like in computer programs. Like we're running on old software, old programming, and many of you out there have want to upgrade, got an upgrade, but now you feel like you're all by yourself. There's always different levels of spirituality, of course. There's levels of connecting to those that cross over, taking your guides, and then you got absolute weirdness. And it's a slow understanding, obviously. But talking about it like this, or you gotta. I mean, obviously, you're working astral, so as you've heard before, you're going to keep hearing it from me. Follow the flow with yourself. You gotta follow the flow of what feels right. It's the only way you're gonna. If you go against that, like you have this great idea, spend all this money on becoming a psychic, and things don't work out. In your mind everything makes sense, but in your heart nothing makes sense. Just for example, obviously people wanted to awaken humanity, and that's one way of doing it. But you just gotta go with the flow, because everything takes time. Yes, it's just the way it is. Part of the universe isn't ready for us to awaken. I mean, individually, some people here might be ready to awaken, and there are, but the universe is. I don't think they're ready either. Spirit world's all messed up as usual. Like I said, I had the spirit guides. I was yelling at them the other day. I got Spirit Guide University around me. I don't pay attention to them all very often, but it's like I guess class was in session. School was in session here, and the Spirit Guide session was in, the new guides that I'm supposed to be babysitting or whatever it might be, clearing out the old BS. So I'm not fully aware of that. I got a little bit of that before I came on here, because I haven't been connecting to it. I've been doing other stuff, but so I have, I don't just have the mentorship here. I have the Spirit Guide mentorship I'm dealing with. And it's just loads of fun. They're setting their old ways too. They're having trouble. They do mess up a lot, but they're not used to once again being paid attention to. And so even if you tell them off, at least you're paying attention to them. So it is important. It plays a big role, because you're like clearing out. I mean, even if you have difficulties with them, you acknowledge that their existence, and that's huge. And they have to get their speaking out to connect with you a little bit clearer. It's not always going to be that clear, but we're working towards it. They got a long ways to go, because they have centuries of when nobody cares about them. So the idea of this is for, how many people have 8 billion people on the planet, or 2, I don't know how many people I have, I don't care, but either way, more people like that, you have 8 billion people connected to their spirit guides, aware that they exist. That's when they have a chain reaction of the ascension opening us up. So I think entertainment plays a big role in it. It still does. Like when they had like Indiana Jones the movie, even like the last one's a Crystal Skull, so people are looking up Crystal Skulls. But before that, the Lost Ark. How many people were talking about the Lost Ark before Indiana Jones brought it up? Probably nobody. Only religious groups. It was a very small group. But now the movie came out, so the world, the fiction world plays a big role. When the consciousness is ready for it, but that's where a lot of this information is going to go into. Even the Sacred Space Program, you believe it or not, it does make good fiction. If you like it or not. Believe it or not, from what I got from the Secret Space Program, it doesn't really matter what you believe in. Whatever it takes for you to heal and feel better about yourself and move on from them. Of course, you need to connect to their nonsense, their drama. There's not much you can do about that, but that's up to you to heal that. But, some can get really pulled into that. But it's part of soul growth. It's where you need to be. It's still four-dimensional knowledge, even if it's, it's just a different type of religion, basically. It's another way of looking at life. It's another way of reflection of yourself. It is, let's see. Untangling one's soul is never easy. It's, take it day by day. For one to learn to love oneself is key, and that is like impossible on this planet. This is why you have like news looking at everybody else but themselves. News does it, entertainment does it. Like at People Magazine, look at this person. Well, how about look at yourself? And what do you need? Not to put a spotlight on you, but to what can I clear? What can I heal for myself? Not to make yourself look like an ass, but sometimes you need that. I believe a lot of entertainment people, some of them have found themselves, but not many. Maybe another version that's not exactly the most positive. Okay. Alright, let's see if I'm in the right channel. Okay. I have ivantalk.com for those that are new to all this. We have private sessions throughout the week. If you have private sessions, you have learn how to channel, be bizarre. You have Google Hangout, Zoom, and channeling by phone. It's all recorded. What is this on here? Yeah, I have the apps for the Google Meet for the phone. For this, I'm on like August 23rd, 22nd. I'm speeding up as fast as I can. The hurricane slowed things down. Everything's in a. I'm on. We're getting there. Same situation here. Oh, whoops. Wrong one. Same situation here. I have other channels and heroes I do recommend. You have Social Network and Awesomeness. So, alright. I forgot what the title. The rest of the title was Weather Manipulation, Illuminati Disclosure. Yeah, definitely Illuminati Disclosure for sure. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, everybody's going to interpret everything their own way. I tell you, with the felines, I got a project we'll make public eventually when it's ready, maybe a couple weeks. What I'm working on, the felines are not going to like it. At least the bad ones aren't going to like it. That's tough. So I had a dream I was fighting with a cat, so that's tough. So we have a lot of other different species that we have their DNA we're trying to sort out. What we call normal. It's not shown. We're sorting out our different felines. From what I gather, it's like too complicated for us to even connect with on a third dimensional level. Let's put it that way. But for the felines, they're like master manipulators. They like to control a situation. Not all of them are like that, but some are. Because as we power up, it shows how weak they are. From my perspective, because I don't think they're that powerful. Some of them are. Well, they can put on a good show of scare. How many people go around to a lion and give them a nice little, belly rub. Not many. I don't think it'll, unless he's like seduced or like sedated. Yeah, they're not gonna last very long with that. I believe a lot of aliens are the same way. Some of them are paranoid, controlling. Um, there's just a lot of layers that we're not fully understanding for obvious reasons. Like there's all the statues in London of feline energies. I didn't go into India. There's probably a lot of feline energies, and there's positive and there's not so positive. But the not so positive doesn't like being noticed. They don't like to be realize that they're there, that they're causing. They're part of teachers, of course, but eventually the student's going to become the teacher, and that's the whole point of ascension. So you take more control over this planet, basically. So I don't think any feline aliens are going to appear anytime soon, but they're definitely watching. They're not impressed with our ascension. I think our society thinks it knows it all. Oh, gee, I wonder why. But typical of any child's world. But our government is a reflection of our society, obviously. Area 51 is as powerful as we think. There's a lot of other bases. A lot of them are underwater. Very hard to storm and get to. A lot of your governments are fully aware of it, but that doesn't mean Area 51 doesn't play a role. It needs to exist. It is part of the soft disclosure. And as humanity be able to awaken, the underwater bases will become more known. Spiritually, vibrations, one in the Pacific. Feels like some of them are as large as like a mall. They're just huge. At least there's one I think there's several in the Pacific, but there's one definitely, and it's connected to our government militaries. Gotta try building something like that. Oh, jeez. Either way. Atlantic doesn't seem like there's like little things here and there, but the Pacific is where there's a big one somewhere. Good luck on finding that one. Yeah, no way. Let's see here. Alright, we'll connect to, had a suggestion connect to the Syrians. Let's see what they have for us. Redmond's here. One moment. Governments are being... This is Redmond Blessings. Governments are being watched by all alien groups, of course. The human is becoming more aware of their outsides and your inside. Yes, finding out, who you are galactically is not easy, as you can see. Because the more you find yourself, the more you see what's outside yourself. Your government entities. Yes, they do energy. They do keep you from figuring yourself out. Yes. Not just alien beings. Your humans are still a part of that. And your dulce is involved with it. It's just basically keep you as human as long as they can. But they're not it's basically, they're kind of keeping you in your place, because if you activate yourself too soon, the rest of the collective will feel it. It might not go so well. So, yes, a slow, easy awakening is key. Because realize many of you can open up, burst out, and just be a hurricane. You can be a bomb, basically. And really cause a major chain reaction on your planet that won't be helpful to anyone. And many of you out there are capable of doing that. Not to say you're here to be a bomb, but just the vibration enough can really, because people aren't ready for your energy, can really not know themselves. It'd be like a shockwave. It will be like a bomb. They'll just, people are already having difficulties remembering who they are right now. Remembering what they did yesterday, the week before. You can wipe out those memories and give them astral memories. That's not going to do them much good here when they need to buy eggs or something. So realize how powerful your energies truly are on this world. Yes, You are a species unlike any other that we are allowed to speak of. You're here to, yes, assist with generations of other alien beings to increase their vibrations. Basically, you're healing conflicts. You're healing conflict on this world. There's no World War III going on. There's talks of it, but there isn't one going on. Yes, there's war in the home, but that's being healed slowly. So the alien connections, they're healing their differences also. If you can heal your problems, they can heal theirs. So, and yes, your world is known to cause them difficulties, but also here to heal the difficulties. So many of you are going to have incarnations after this world on other worlds where you cause an effect with them. It's like, I'm sorry I got you all depressed, and be a whole world you made depressed. Because you were their hero, then you let them down by not thinking about yourself, not caring about yourself. And so so you aren't realizing the depths of your vibration. Yes, you're all stars on this world. You guys, you look stars in the skies. You look at aliens as they're the heroes, without looking at yourselves as that. Yes, you probably heard this before, but it's true. It's difficult to be a celebrity, as you can see. Everyone on this world is a celebrity. Yes, you probably heard this 100 times, but it's true. Because of difficulties you go on this world. But also you're unlocking it. And the unlock is going to get stronger. Once again, as you dive into yourselves. What are you going to see when you dive in? The Titanic, as some of you are connected to in your past, World War II. Many of you are, yes, many that have been through the Holocaust are here again. And some of them are trying to be as nice as they can, because some of them, during the Holocaust, were not very nice. And some of them did get karma. So they're wealthy and friendly and giving away their money to make sure that never happens to them again. Now, some do have grudges, but many of them are here to give back the blessings, because many of them were very negative back then. And not to say they deserved any of that, but they realized karma did knock on their door. Now, that wasn't all of them, but there was quite a few that were very selfish, unkind to others, and it is true, history is true in that regard. Where business owners that were of the Jewish energy were very not so kind to others. And so there was a divide there. And you're here to heal the divides currently. Right now, yes, your government, your politics is causing a lot of... Your hurricane is a reflection of your current consciousness. It is in pain at this time. But pain also brings in healing. So sometimes the most pain brings in the most healing from everyone. Because they're all sending love to those that have been through that. We're also learning more about yourselves. That, as you know from history, you need something bad to happen for something good to occur. For you to find yourselves. A loved one dies, you find out that no one really dies, technically. And so sometimes you do, I mean, this world is so short. It might seem long, but it's also very short-lived. And the more that, there's no right or wrong of how you go about it. You judge yourselves. But many wish to have a better life for themselves, as you can see. So you can do this life as wrong as you can. You do everything wrong. But eventually you'll get it right. Eventually. Doesn't mean you have to incarnate here again. Many alien beings say they can't believe how many people do the wrong thing over and over and over again. Well, you can't do that anywhere else. Other places you catch it real quickly. This world, everything's shut off. Your guides are shut off. Everything's shut off. So you're in this world blind, basically. So doing things over and over again makes a lot of sense. Its attention span energy is many. Just the lessons are very difficult to learn here. Some enjoy going through those lessons of failure over and over and over, because sometimes failure is more exciting than the winning. You're winning everything, getting the best relationship. Realize when you have the right relationship, you have the right kids, life becomes boring. But if you don't have the right relationship, you don't have the right kids, life is more interesting. Not everybody's like that, but quite a few of them are. So that's another reason why people keep doing the wrong thing over and over again. It's more entertaining. They learn more when nothing goes right. So is that wrong? Not necessarily, not for them. For others, they'll say, yes, that's wrong. This is the difficulties with your spirit guides in you. Spirit guides have their own opinions, and it might not always be the best opinions for you. Yes, you ask for the highest good. The spirit guides think it's for the highest good, but technically it really wasn't. So there's a lot to learn. The spirit world still has a lot to learn. As you focus on the spirit world, you don't have to do it all the time, but when you realize it does exist, it does, in your intentions, you just realize you have guides. You don't have to talk to them all the time because you probably get bored of them anyway. Because they probably find them not very interesting. Your world's more interesting than theirs in a lot of ways. Because once again, you have more conflict here. Yes, it might seem boring, but it all depends on how you look at it. Once again, you have to get up, get yourself ready, clean yourself. In the spirit world, they have none of that. So what's the more interesting world? Yes, they can think and go here and there and everywhere, but they don't really feel anything. They do, but it's still not the same. Here you're in a physical body. You feel everything, you feel emotions, you feel all the insanity here. So yes, you might have to clean yourself up, put on clothes, so you can feel everyone's energies as a physical being. So being here as a physical being is not in vacation. It was never meant to be. Is it a war? It doesn't necessarily have to be. It's a journey of the soul. It's a journey of feeling what everybody else is feeling as a human source vibration. So it's up to you what failure is. You make that up. You make the rules. Everyone's idea of failure and accomplishments is all different. Because your idea, other people's look at your life and say, wow, your life's a failure. But to you, you accomplished a great deal. Because you went through all these failures and still you're keeping your sanity. While others would think differently of that. Especially when you look at your bank account, there's nothing in there. Because others are judging. So everyone's perspective is always going to be different on your world. You're unmasking your planet. You're basically connecting more to individuals that are you on a spiritual level. Yes, you're basically opening up the window into the spirit world slowly. Meaning guides do come through. I mean, they do work through you. It's basically when you follow the flow of your heart, that's where your guides are working through you. You might not hear them, but they are working through your everyday life. It's like, what I'm doing feels right. That's your guides working through. And you're living was like, this doesn't feel right. Well, that's when you need to probably give your guides a little phone call. It's like, what can I do? And then you might hear what they have to say. It's like, I didn't like that answer. Then you're going around in a circle. So that doesn't mean you're just having an argument. Getting one's life. Obviously many are not here to win the lottery or be a billionaire with nothing to do, because many of them are billionaires with nothing to do. So you have a lot to do by survival. Survival is just basically testing the soul, finding your low points and your high points. It's like an exercise of the soul. You're putting yourself through a treadmill. You're strengthening yourself. It's up to you. Once again, everybody makes their own rules. What works for you doesn't work for everyone else. So that's what makes it so difficult, because your world is kind of like a high mind in its own. It's different high minds. Your religions are all different high minds. You go to a church, you're connected to that high mind of that church. You're in a channeling spiritual group. You connect to the high mind of that. There's always different high minds that are going on. It's enough to make you crazy, isn't it? So finding your own individual self. That's the journey. That's why going within. Your own individual self. Who am I? Will you define that? Are you a secret space program person that's on another planet saving the universe? Sure, why not? Does that work for you? Go right ahead. What is it? I mean, it's your own mythology. It's your life. Is it harming you? No. Not really. Is it raising your vibration? Most likely, yes. This is what you're here to do. Is to get you through this life, survive it, and not follow the old ways of life. Of course, that's up to you. Some are here to live the old ways of life no matter what. Some of you can become you're upgrading your vibrations to a new earth, a new reality, new ways of thinking. And so some people like to be old fashioned. It's called your society currently. So there's still so listening to records and the mixtape, and you are connecting to high vibrational angels and feeling their energies flow through you. How many in your world is ready for that? Where you hear your own music, of course you can, or you can even create your own music, because you're all creators. Yes, you don't have to be on the Billboard's top 20 or anything. Just you're creating your own individual self, whatever it might be. And that's key. It's finding your individual self and not being pulled into other people's vibrations. Because if you do, this is part of your test. You have not finally figured out who you are. So it's being pulled to these different groups is just piecing together who you are. It's your puzzle that you're putting together. So if you need to be part of a religious group, a channeling group, whatever it might be, you're putting your pieces together, basically. That's what's going on. Yes, your White Sands, New Mexico. Yes, there's a lot of Illuminati energies there. It's many who you talk to. Yes, they're controlling the mental state of humanity, of course. Until you figure yourselves out, they're going to play with your Earth's vibrations. But as you awaken, you will see where the controlling energies are coming from when the time is right. Because, you'll be kind of crazy to feel what's really going on here. But you'll even be able to telepathically connect to your government who's doing this. When you're telepathically connected to alien beings, you know you're definitely making contact. Because, yes, many are focusing on the physical. Nothing wrong with that. But telepathically, whereas where a lot of the connections are going to truly occur with your alien beings, most likely come out of nowhere. You might think you're crazy. But after a while, it's like, I'm not crazy. That's actually an alien being I'm talking to. Or a government being that's higher at a high vibration, supposedly, that's controlling your world. So, it's different ways of looking at it. Blessings to you. Alright, much love everyone. Back tomorrow. Hopefully that was helpful. Take care.